Hello, MICA user. This video is for you to figure out how to read and get oriented to this report you now have so that you can do this proactively in a way that you can use your coaching to really dive deep into whatever would be most helpful rather than using your coaching time with your reports to talk about how to even read the report. So as we start to look at the first page of the report, that's what we have here. You would get it in a PDF form. You'll see that the Motivational Interview and Competency Assessment title is here. Here's the title of it. Here's the practitioner. This would be your name right in here. And then the organization that's doing it, in our case, IFIOC, we're providing that. And that here's your coach's name and then the email to be in touch with them. Likely, once you've got the report, you will have all that. What you'll see as you scroll down to the next page is there's an overview and strengths section where coaching notes can be put in there. And sometimes people gloss over that, but that's a really critical paragraph or so sometimes if that's done to look at. It's not always going to be there, but some of the time it will be there. That really adds some extra qualitative feedback that's beyond just what you're going to get in the report. And then beneath that is something called the total MI score. It averages your MI intentions and your strategically responding scores, and it kind of even gives you a breakdown here. And then what you'll see is it has on these graphs, you'll see your different sessions over time with your total MI score. In this case, this practitioner, their MI session 1 was even more skillful than their MI session 2. And you'll see kind of then how you do as a trend over time with your overall MI score. And so then to see the most recent example of what happened in other areas, specifically like autonomy, guiding, empathy, partnering, evoking, you'll see all of these, and these will be your score from the most recent session you've submitted. So this is 4s across the board for the MI session 2. And so that's what you'll see. And then you'll see what you got for sustained talk and change talk. And you'll see that when you add those up and average them, that's why I got the 8 score here with a competency range score. The other thing to pay attention to when you're learning MI and learning to make more statements rather than reflections is you're really trying to communicate, I think I get you, which is a statement, which is a reflection usually, more than I don't quite get you. And that's kind of the meta message that we're trying to help with the reflection to question ratio, where this practitioner had a 1-to-1. So for about every reflection, there's on average a 1 question asked. So that's where you get your ratio. And competent MI is usually in the range of 2 reflections for every 1 question. But then you get kind of a snapshot on 1 page there of your report. And then as we scroll down, what you're going to see is you're going to see these all broken out into their own separate pages. So there's different strategically responding pages, and then there's going to be different intention scores. So these are your 5 MI intentions here. And then there are the strategically responding pages on these 2 graphs that you'll see here. And so as we scroll down, what we'll start with is the strategically responding to sustained talk. And what you'll see here is there's a definition given to you. You get the definition of what is in the manual of what it means to strategically respond to sustained talk. And the reason we do this is this to be less of a reactive process and more of a proactive process for you. So if this is something that you want to improve on, or you're getting feedback that you want to improve on, you have the option of reading this before you go into the interaction, not to try to play to the test, but really to keep this in your mind as a top priority in the conversation. So that way, again, you're being proactive instead of kind of retrospectively reactive of, oh, I didn't do this thing. You're just walking in with it on your mind. So that's where you're going to get the definition. We use far more than a definition to give you the feedback of the numbers and the things we determine. But that's what that is. Then you'll see your scores over time with the different sessions. If you had more sessions, you would see how that shapes over time. And then underneath that, on each page, you have this area called indicators. And so we call it that because it indicates why you scored what you scored. So this is straight out of language from the manual, where reflections of sustained talk are provided to validate and engage the client. So these are things that happened in the interaction. If you read through each one of these, they happened. And then here are some timestamps these are really, really critical for maximizing your learning from your report, is I could listen to 3 minutes and 52 seconds to 4 minutes and 35 seconds, and I'm gonna hear some of these things going on. So even if I don't change a thing, I at least am learning what I'm doing already that's aligning with MI. And then at 6 minutes, 14 seconds, 8 minutes, 18 seconds through 9 minutes, 13 seconds, and I could listen to these times and really get a sense of that. Then if I'm wanting to work on that particular, in this case, strategy, I would look at my opportunities for improvement, and then this would give me a sense of what to do differently to increase my score and really contribute to the person in a next level sort of a way. And I could address sustained talk to encourage self-exploration, facilitate change, or facilitate consideration or insight regarding change. So I could do that or this other feedback here at these times at 5 minutes and 15 seconds, 6 minutes, 26 seconds, 12 minutes, 10 seconds. So I would listen to these and really then try to take some notes around that and really kind of think about that. What was the coder or coach getting at here? That, and if you're confused, wonderful thing to talk about with your coach on how you could navigate that if you're not sure, or if you want to hear what the coach has to say around those things. It just gives you a lot more depth and granularity to what you're going to be talking about in the coaching session that's specific for what you're trying to learn in that session. So it doesn't have to be strategically responding to sustained talk. This is just one example of one of the pages, that each of these pages are formatted in the same way. They have that definition to be proactive with it and get a sense of what is being coded here. You got your indicators, your timestamps to listen to, and then your opportunities for improvement to listen to those timestamps. And obviously this could get overwhelming if you went through every single one and did that. And if you did, you'd probably learn a lot. But this is where, by going back to that overview one-sheeter, you can get a sense of where do I want to focus my efforts. And in a session like this with 4s across the board, you might want to focus it in a particular area that resonates for you. You could figure that out with your coach, or you could really figure it out for yourself. Be like, I'm really interested in the intention of supporting autonomy and activation, and that intention really then will be something that you can read the definition of ahead of time and then go into the interaction with these sorts of things in mind: choice, control, strengths, abilities, and then work on that. Or just literally listen to these timestamps and go, what sort of things could I do like this with these sorts of timestamps? And then how could I talk with my coach about those concepts to further enhance kind of where I'm at? I get this stuff, but I'm not quite getting this stuff. So that's a way to read each one of these pages, and each one of them gives you that same sort of guidance, that same sort of structure. If you do that, and then you have a coaching session and you keep that rhythm going, you are likely to get a lot of bang for your buck with the amount of progress you'll make in the shortest amount of time and for the longest amount of staying power. So hopefully this has been helpful for you on how to read the reports and how you can use them for maximizing your motivational interviewing learning. Appreciate your time and wishing you the best with all of this. All right, take care.